Hello and welcome back to DJCC On Air, the Remix Edition. I'm Sarah Crilley, your president for the Dallas Junior Chamber. And today's host. So excited to welcome you guys in today. I want to also introduce our co-host. Today is Andrew Davis. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how you doing, Sarah?
So good. Gosh, it's so busy here over at Real News PR in the studios. I love days like today. I definitely brought my extra cold brew coffee. This stuff is just infused with like that nitro cold brew. Have you had this before?
No, I've never. I don't even know what it is, actually. Is it coffee?
It is coffee. I know it's cold brew, but it's not like alcohol infused. I don't know why it's just the type of brew that they have for cold brew coffee. And it is electrifying, I'm telling you. I start my morning with like a quad shot of espresso over ice with cream, and it's just kind of a smooth ride all day in terms of caffeine. This stuff just kicks my butt.
Does it really?
Do you start your day with coffee?
No, I just start my day with a banana, actually, and that's not even a joke. I wake up I get up at like 4:30, so the first thing I eat, I go into the kitchen, grab a banana, scarf it down, and then I head over to the office. It's an early day, but I like my routine.
I feel like I'm fasting throughout the day until about that lunch hour, and then I'll go for pretty much anything I can find by that point. Probably not the healthiest decision. So I need to take one out of your book. Andrew, so I understand that we have a new guest. I'm really excited to welcome in a new member with the Dallas Junior Chamber. Who you got for us?
I have attorney Kent Love with us today.
Hey, so just a little intro about me. I'm Kent Love. I grew up in Arlington. Went to UT in Austin for 4 years. Came back up here to Dallas to go to SMU for law school. And I've been up here since 2013. And Sarah, I know about that cold brew. It's very good. I start my morning off with that a lot too.
Oh, yeah. This is great stuff, especially for a really busy week. It's something that I really look forward to, honestly, but I can't drink it after 3 because then I'm up all night. How about you?
Right. Yeah. I can't have any caffeine after probably noon because then I'll do the same.
So I got a question for you, Kent. So I know that like when the pandemic first happened, a lot of people were in a scramble to transition their whole work life from the office to home, and for some people, like the job I had here at Real News, I was able to just work at my computer at home without really anything being changed too much. But with you being an attorney and a litigator, did that disrupt anything in a major way? Did it really cause any problems for you in that switch over?
It was kind of similar to how you've described it so far. It was a pretty seamless transition to working from home. Luckily, my law firm has sufficient technology and resources. We have a couple of guys in IT that constantly work across the clock. So I think for smaller firms, it definitely would be a big hurdle to transition everybody to work from home, like all the staff and all the attorneys. But there still is that, as a young associate, you want to have that face time with partners. And so that's a little bit difficult. And then when you're in the courtroom or when you're trying to present your case to a judge, it definitely is more, it's a lot easier to do that when you're in person and you can see, their facial expression. You can see if they're kind of buying your argument or not. And so we've transitioned to do all that stuff over Zoom. And I think everyone's just starting to learn that that's the new normal, and that's just how we're going to have to deal with this for at least, a few more months at least. So
it's so interesting.
Overall,
this is definitely defining moments in history. Like when the 2008 market crash, we were just graduating high school at that point. It was just like that's when we were entering the workforce. Now we've experienced at least a decade for some of us, what the work environment is like, and now it's just like throws papers in the air, literally, like, okay, we're starting over in some situations, but we're also at least eyes wide open experiencing it, and we'll be recalling moments for like this for years and years to come, especially with the generation coming up that they'll be infused right in with technology. It's like that perfect wave of, okay, they'll understand how to take the meetings through Zoom and Skype, and maybe it will just be one click of the button by that point instead of like, we're trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, I have a brother who's a senior in high school, and like to him, this is just normal. Like he doesn't think twice about like, oh, everything moved virtually. He's like, okay, that's how we've been doing it forever. It's like it's no skin off his back at all, and it's just gonna keep going that way. Like that generation, they're gonna be fine going ahead. It's everyone else here that we are struggling to keep up with them.
Like our grandkids will probably be asking us about the great coronavirus.
And all the content that goes out, they'll be able to watch us struggling through it.
It's all documented perfectly.
Perfectly, right? They'll make fun of us forever, but at least we've got those defining moments. And I think we're going to embrace it, guys. We're doing great. We're doing great. Hey, so in closing here, we want to talk about where you are located in the Metroplex. And for those of us that are young professionals that may be considering moving to Dallas, let's take a lesson out of Kent's book. Where did you move? Why did you choose the location in Dallas? Where do you live?
So I live in Lower Greenville right now. So I can jump back to where I lived when I first moved to Dallas.
Yes.
I lived in the Village apartment, which everybody is probably pretty familiar with. There's a lot of apartments up there on Lover's Lane, and that was close to SMU. So that's why I lived over there.
Oh, I know where that is.
And yeah, so I think they were popular even back when like our parents were going, at least when my parents were living in Dallas back in like the 60s and 70s, because a lot of those apartments were built back then. But they're upgrading that, so that's actually a great place to live for anybody looking to move to the Metroplex. And then I moved to apartments down on Fitzhugh 75, and now I'm on Lower Greenville. At an apartment complex called Alexa Lower Greenville, and it's right walking distance to HG and all those other bars and restaurants. So it's been very good so far. I like it a lot.
Awesome. Are you able to meet new people and be social? What does kind of the social life look like in some of those different areas as you've lived around Dallas, and you're now the Dallas residential guru in my perspective? If you've lived in more than two places, you know your way around this town.
So the Village was good. They have like a lot of community activities, and then, the other place that I lived was kind of similar. And then here, I've lived here for about a year now, and right off the bat, they had a lot of different community activities. It seemed like it was like once a week they'd have a casino night in the lobby or some other fun event. I'm very pleased with it.
I was joking with everybody before we were recording. My husband moved to Lower Greenville right when Lower Greenville was becoming the hot up and coming. They were building all the bars and all the little, activities and restaurants and, fashion, hair salons and all the stuff, the shopping. And so when we were dating, we spent a lot of time down there, but everything wasn't really built yet. So it was like, oh, this is going to be cool. Look at that coffee shop. Oh, look at that bar. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. Then we got engaged, and I had to move to the suburbs. Wah, wah, wah. So I say I'm a Dallasite because I work in Dallas, but we live in Plano. My son goes to school there, and so the suburban life is, what we had in plan. But again, we left Lower Greenville right when it was up and coming. So I know that that's definitely going to be another reminiscing date night, because we kind of fell in love with Lower Greenville and fell in love together. But what about you, Andrew? So I have fond memories.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, because like there are certain parts of Dallas that I have only known as like less suburban, more like fully fleshed out, and more like the I guess what we would call now just like the downtown area, or like the nightlife.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my dad's been in Dallas for a while too, and he'll talk about like, oh, it wasn't always like that. But to me, it's funny to hear like everyone's perspective, because I've only ever known that. And when I live in a suburb called Flower Mound, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but when we first moved there,
we know Flower Mound.
Okay, perfect.
It is, for those of you that don't live in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's a suburb that is, I guess it would be north of 635, kind of the west side of the Metroplex.
Yeah.
Not as far as Fort Worth, though. Anyways, okay, well, we definitely want to have you back, Kent. Hopefully in person. We'll have you here in the studios and pick your brain about all things that have to do with your marathon career, because I know that you're a big runner, and also hopefully giving back here to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I know we're going to get you plugged into some up-and-coming philanthropy events with us. So we'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Bye.
See you, Kent. Have a great day.
Yeah, we'll have to have him back. That was
All
fun.
right, you too.
Thanks so much for watching or tuning in to this edition of DJCC On Air. We post all of our episodes on YouTube and also the audio content on where you find all of your podcast platforms, iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, you name it, we're there. The Dallas Junior Chamber was established in 1918. That's right, we're over 100 years old. We just celebrated our centennial, and we are so excited to get the next generation of Dallas area young professionals connected with us, whether that's networking events, professional development, philanthropically, and more. We have so many ways to get you connected and involved with the Dallas Junior Chamber. So make sure to connect with us on social media. We're active on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And of course, make sure to check out the next event that we have coming up on our website. That's www.dallasjuniorchamber.com. A special thanks to our sponsor, Real News Communications Network, for assisting us in all of our content capabilities, whether that's doing our podcast and all of the broadcast studios and equipment that Real News PR provides. We appreciate it. Real News PR and Real News Communications Network broadcast studios are headquartered in Dallas, Texas.
It's going to be fun.
Thanks again for watching. Now for some bonus content from our green room.
We've got two other guests. We're interviewing one of our board members today about, she's in financial. So I want to ask her all about what the trends are for what millennial spending looks like. Are you a millennial or are you a Gen, what's the Gen after us? Andrew, what is that?
Is it Gen Z?
X?
I was born
Gen-
in
Oh, we just lost him. Oh no,
Hey, Kent, can you hear us?
he's delayed. Oh, here we go. Here we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
He's
Okay.
back. He's back.
When? Yeah, we didn't hear what you were saying there. We lost you for a second.
Oh, okay. I was just saying I was born in 1990, so I don't know where that puts me. But
Oh, you just turned 30. Me too.
I just
We're
turned
millennials.
24.
We are like smack dab in the millennial generation. I'll tell you that. My husband is the oldest. I say the oldest, wisest millennial because he'll be 39 next year. That he is the cusp of a Gen X.
I can't. I know the difference, but I always get like X and like Z
I know.
like switched in my head a lot.
I like millennial, but I don't know what is millennial that. We need to look this up.
Yeah,
We need to have our
let me Google
generational
this
expert
real
in here,
quick.
Josh Hart. He is also one of the oldest, wisest millennials. I think he's 37. Anyways. Yeah, you're a millennial. No, I met for the first time a Gen after us. They're in the workforce. They're like gonna graduate soon. I've got a couple, we call them summer team members. And I was very excited. I was like, I met the next generation coming up in the workforce. You know, I feel like the old one now. And we're all on our best behavior. But she's just like, oh, yeah, you know, like they're way too cool for school. Okay, I'll tell you that. Like they're very
They're way
confident.
cooler than me.
They are very confident, this next generation of,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you know any of them? What are they? Gen Zs?
I don't know what they are. I guess Gen Z, I think. That sounds right.
I'm fascinated by them. No, they are super. They are like, they know technology, like it's programmed in them. And that's how they used to talk about us. I know that when I was coming up in my career. they'd say, "Oh, you're a millennial." Very fascinated. Every millennial story was in the news about, millennials are lazy, millennials are this, millennials are that. And I was like, I've got a lot to prove here. I'm not lazy. Millennials are job hopping.
Yeah, see, our generation is still a little bit skeptical of technology. I mean, we embraced it, but at the same time, I'm a little scared of technology. With how good it gets now, you got to be a little skeptical. But the Gen
I can
Z
relate.
people,
Yeah.
they're all about it.
They're on TikTok, and I was like, I don't know about TikTok. That's that's just a little advanced, guys. I didn't even get on the Snapchat or whatever the hell that is, but, anyways, I think that would be a fun topic. We're going to interview her. We're going to pick her brain. We're going to put her on the spot. That's just what I'm looking forward to.